Hello, good morning. Thank you so much and welcome back. I really and truly enjoy connecting with you. I hope you feel lifted today. I hope you feel centered. And more importantly, I hope that you actually feel and experience your self-worth this morning. I want to talk to you about what to do when they don't love you back. Relationships are interesting. They really are. There will be relationships, whether it's a friendship, a loved one, a relationship with a family member, that there's just a kindred spark. And the love flows freely. The love flows freely and actively between two people. And then there are times that your love is flowing freely and actively. And the counterpart, like I said, whether that's friend, family member, loved one, just isn't and doesn't love you back in a way that feels equal, in a way that feels respectful, in a way that you feel valued. And some of you listening to this may say, well, come on, Sheila, come on, girl. It's common sense. If they don't love you back, you just back away. Well, it's really not always that easy. And I like to deal in the nuances of human relationships. So let's go a little bit further into the underbelly of why it is so important. It is so important when they're not loving you back, when they're not actively respecting you back, to stop and really do a self-assessment. Stop and really do a self-assessment. I recently sat with a woman who was actively doing for, caring for, supporting the man in her life. And I promise you, he was doing everything but that. He was doing everything but that. And on more than one occasion, he had nearly driven this woman to the brink of thinking horrible thoughts, to the brink of committing horrible acts, all in the name of, when are you going to stop? When are you going to stop and love me? Okay? So it brings me back to my point. What do you do? What do you do when they don't love you back? And I can sum it up very simply. When they don't love you back, you back up. You back up and you connect. You connect with the love for you. Let me tell you what happens. Let me tell you what happens when you continue to actively do for, love for, chase, whatever word you want to say, someone who's not loving you back. Inevitably, the fruit yield, which is referred to as what you get, the outlay of a relationship, the product. The fruit yield will continue to be rotten. And I'll tell you why. Because you are ignoring the call. It's not about you're ignoring their behavior. You are ignoring the call from your heavenly creator to love, honor, and respect yourself. I feel that degradation, relationships that force us to confront degradation and self-degradation, the flip side of that is a blessed invitation to go deeper and further and bring to the forefront the love that exists within us, the love that we can access for ourselves. I didn't necessarily say the love that you have and actively feel for yourself, because if you actively have and feel love for yourself, you just don't allow degradation. You won't allow degradation. I'll tell you why. Because it just simply won't vibrate. It's not the same vibration. It's not equal. And you will just go away from it. Love for self is a muscle. Love for self is a muscle. And how do you connect with it? If you don't feel deeply connected, day by day, inch by inch, you start making choices. You start making choices that reflect love of self and do not reflect degradation. I'll tell you, there are a couple of people on the planet, and you may hear this at first and say, well, that doesn't sound right or is possible. It is possible. It's possible to feel love for someone, but to necessarily back off because they're not loving you back. And both of these cases, these individuals were, I grew up with them. Both of them were near and dear to my heart. And things do happen in relationships. And it just really became important for me to back away because the love was not there, the respect, the affinity. I can still tell you that there's a warm space reserved in my heart for both of these individuals, but I simply cannot entertain and will not entertain relationships anymore, I'll say, that are one-sided and reflect any level of degradation. So yes, we're human beings, we're multifaceted. You can certainly pull away. You can certainly pull away. You can say a prayer. You can still hold the warmth in your heart. But what you don't do is stand at the door begging for bread, and it is not forthcoming, and that door is slammed. You go and you liberate your life. You liberate your life because rotten fruit is the only fruit yield that comes when respect, adoration, admiration, decency is not free-flowing both ways. This has been Inspirational Shorts with Sheila. I'll connect with you soon.